When I left teaching, I said out loud to myself, I'm a quitter. I felt like people were going to judge me for not being able to stick it out. I shifted that mindset belief to, I am incredibly strong for doing something that was really scary, and I'm proud of myself for that. You are listening to the Beyond the Classroom podcast, a podcast for burnt-out teachers who know something's gotta give. After teaching for 14 years and feeling completely burned out for way too long, in May of 2022, I made a big decision and left the classroom. I now help burnt-out teachers like you take back balance and joy so you can wake up every day loving your life. In this podcast, we'll explore who you are beyond the classroom, whether you're considering leaving or wanting to make changes so you can fall in love with teaching again. Either way, I understand what it's like to be living a life that looks fun and cute on the outside. You know, summer's off, playing all day, off at 2 o'clock every day, but actually feels miserable and draining. I'm your host and coach, Sandy Patterson, and I'm so excited to help you step into your fullest potential and believe in that potential to make an impact on the world, not just survive each day. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello there, and welcome to the second episode of the Beyond the Classroom podcast. I am so excited that you're here today. We get to hang out for a bit. And today we're going to chat all things mindset. So we're going to talk about 3 things you can do to start thinking about how to incorporate mindset into your day. Now, this is a hot topic, and I found this to be the single most important thing for both me and my clients, and that is mindset. Mindset is the single biggest factor for my clients who are getting ready to leave the classroom, for clients who are trying to figure out what they really want, and for my clients that have decided that they want to stay in the classroom. Mindset will absolutely 100% make or break you in any situation, whether it's teaching, changing careers, making a big change, being a parent or a friend, and even your relationship with yourself. And it is so much more than just be positive or look on the bright side. And I have heard people talk about mindset for a while now. And if we're being totally honest, which we are, I didn't exactly know what that meant until I did some digging and I started to try to figure out what mindset is for me and what it could look like for me. So I'm going to share that with you today. We're going to chat about mindset so you'll have a better understanding of what it is, and we'll talk about why it's so important. And of course, I'll give you some small actionable steps that you can take to start incorporating mindset into your days to try it on and see how it feels for you, see what you think, and to see what a difference these little changes can make. So I'm so excited, and I'm so excited you're here. So what is mindset? The definition of mindset, when you Google it, is the established set of attitudes held by someone. Okay, so what does that mean? It's basically the self-perceptions or things you believe about yourself. And that set of beliefs you have shapes how you make sense of things happening around you and the world and yourself. So these beliefs or your mindset influences how you think, how you feel, how you behave, how you react, the actions you take, and the actions you don't take as well. Now, I like to think about it as the way we talk to ourselves. Now, I know you're not sitting around having conversations with yourself all day, or maybe you are, which is totally fine too. But whether you realize it or not, you are saying things to yourself all the time, both consciously and unconsciously. And another interesting factor is how your mindset is formed. And most of the things we believe about ourselves are things that we've learned from childhood, from a really young age. And that can be bad news because they've been there for so long. But the good news is that you can change those beliefs. It does take work, but you can definitely change them. And some of those beliefs that we have about ourselves were serving us previously before, and now they're just not. So you can change these. So here is a perfect example. When I left teaching, I said out loud to myself numerous times, I'm a quitter. I felt like I was giving up on my students, giving up a career that I had worked so hard for, and that people were going to judge me for not being able to stick it out. Like, I'm a quitter. That's what I said to myself. And that's not a great place to be in or to make decisions from. So what I did is I had to ask myself, what's the underlying belief there? Where is this coming from? And essentially, I recognized that I had a belief that quitting is bad. That's something that I believed in myself, because to me, quitting meant that you're not strong. And if you're not strong, you're weak, right? And I didn't want to be viewed as weak. And I'm sure that's somehow what I learned growing up by the messages that I got at home and at school. And just a little side note, I have amazing parents and an amazing family, and I had a really wonderful upbringing, and I was loved and cared for. So I just want to point this out, that it's not like our parents or caregivers or teachers are setting out to give us these limiting beliefs. It's going to happen for everyone, no matter what the situation or the circumstances. So if you're a parent too, don't worry, I'm sure you're doing an amazing job. But going back to that story, I'm a quitter. Here is where the magic happens. When I shifted that mindset belief to, I'm going to try something new and find a new way to help people, it didn't feel so awful, right? And I also shifted that mindset to say, wow, I am incredibly strong for doing something that was really scary, and I'm proud of myself for that. And I truly am. And there you go. That's that mindset shift that makes all the difference. Now I'm not waking up sad or feeling bad about myself or feeling like a quitter and that I gave up. I'm waking up now super excited to see what is coming next and what the universe has in store. So that is just a quick example of how that mindset magic can happen. And you can see that it does take a little bit of digging, and it's really awkward and it's uncomfortable at first, but after a while, you get the hang of it. So why is mindset so important? Essentially, your mindset, or what you believe about yourself, impacts your success or failure in any given situation. And I'm just going to assume that we want to succeed in everything we do, right? And just believing that you can succeed is going to create that mindset to help you actually succeed. And it's powerful too if you flip that to the other side. If you have so much confidence in yourself and belief in yourself to know that you're not going to fail no matter what, that can be really powerful in how you show up every day. So now, what can you do? For me, at least, it was really hard to identify how I was talking to myself and to start noticing these beliefs and these stories and what was happening in my head. And that, I think, because the days go by so fast, we're so busy, we're taking care of other people all day, and there isn't really time to just stop and reflect and slow down and take a look at what's happening in our brains. So for me, the first step to start working on my mindset, and you can do this too, is to just start noticing how you're talking to yourself. Just notice and recognize. For example, the other day I had to get some work done at home, and my kids wanted me to play with them. And I told them that I needed to get some work done. And I actually don't even think that they cared at all. But the first thought that came to my mind, like, I started to feel guilty and like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible mom. Now, just noticing that statement happening in my head and that feeling that pops up with that statement was enough for me to just say, like, hold on, wait a minute. Are you actually a terrible mom? Is that actually true? And the answer is no, I'm not a terrible mom. At least I hope I'm not. And another side note with that specific thought, like, I'm a terrible mom, the underlying belief there, for anyone who's ever felt like a terrible mom, we've basically been programmed as women and moms, and for many of us as teachers too, to believe that we need to give everything to others and serve others and give everything to our kids, and our kids' well-being and happiness is the most important thing, and to just give, and be available all the time. And that belief for me too, I was learned through teaching and feeling like I needed to be available all the time to help others. But again, that's a whole nother episode. But going back, while yes, I love my kids and their happiness is important to me, of course, I had to shift my mindset in that moment. So I flipped it, and instead of saying I'm a terrible mom and feeling guilty, I just said, I feel so lucky that I get to be home with my kids to work. Like, how lucky am I? I love being with them, even if I do have to get work done while they're here. And there is the mindset magic. So once you can start noticing, you'll naturally just become more aware of it, and it'll be easier to recognize those thoughts. And then you can ask yourself if it's actually true and if that thought is serving you or someone else, because me telling myself that I was a terrible mom wasn't serving anyone, not me, my kids, not anybody. It just basically put me in a bad mood and made me feel bad. So flipping that was key. When I also catch these thoughts, I like to think about it how I would respond to a friend. So like if a friend came to me and said, I feel like a terrible mom, like what would I tell her? I most certainly would not tell her, yeah, totally, you're a really terrible mom. Good luck. No, I would say the same thing that I said previously, that you're a great mom and that you're lucky to be able to work at home. So asking yourself how you would talk to a friend and getting yourself into the habit of talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend is key. So what advice would you give a friend in that situation? What would you say to that friend? And then start to say it to yourself. And the last thing that was super helpful for me when I started to try to figure out these stories and these beliefs, and my own amazing life coach taught me this, was to take 5 to 10 minutes every day just to write down anything that's in my brain. So no prompt, not a journal or anything like that. Just start to write and let whatever is coming up come out onto paper. And at first this felt a little bit silly, but what ended up happening over time is I would start to notice patterns in my thoughts and start to notice what things were popping up for me. Like one that was continuously coming up for me was that when I leave my teaching job, my family's going to have to eat cereal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because we won't have enough money and we won't be able to buy groceries. So this is a scarcity mindset. And while yes, money is something that we do need to feed our families, I had to stop and ask myself, like, is this actually true? Is this story that you're telling yourself true? And the answer was no. Like, my kids are fine. They're well fed. We're all happy and good. It's just that scarcity mindset that I had to flip. And I know all of this is way easier said than done. And I know it takes a ton of practice, but this is something that will make a huge difference in your days and how you feel about your everyday life and how you show up for yourself and for those people around you that are important to you. And in this podcast, we'll be talking lots more about mindset. So stay tuned and get excited about that. So to recap, the 3 things you can do to start incorporating mindset work into your day are to, number 1, just start to notice. Notice how you're talking to yourself. So when those thoughts pop up, you can question them and begin to redirect them. Number 2 is start to practice talking to yourself like you would talk to a friend and give yourself feedback and advice that you would give to a friend in that same situation. And the last thing, number 3, if you have no idea, is to just start writing. Take 5 minutes every day to just write down anything that's in your brain, and over time, you'll start to notice those patterns and those thoughts. Thank you so much for listening today. I can't wait to hear what resonates with you here and what your thoughts are. So please feel free to message me or email me or DM me or however you want to get in touch with me. I will leave all the links in the show notes, and I cannot wait to hear what you think. I will see you next time. I can't wait. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Beyond the Classroom. If you know something has to change and you're ready to take the next step to make it happen, whether it's in or out of the classroom, let's talk it through together. Schedule a no-obligation chat with me and we can talk through where you're stuck, how to get you unstuck, and how to keep you moving forward. Schedule your free call today by clicking the link in the show notes. I can't wait to connect with you.